session where Shri and I continue our journey into adding new models in our A.NET library, Nuget library, to basically allow people who want to use C# code to generate their GitHub pipelines or GitHub Actions. Not have to learn about YAML, not have to learn about how YAML works. And last time, just as a little reminder, let me share my code here with you guys. Last time, Shri and I basically went in and we basically started working on. It was mostly Shri, to be honest. We basically started working on pulling in as much additional details and as in models as much as possible. So we have the pull requests, we have the GitHub pipeline, we have all of these little details. And today we're gonna continue that journey. Today we're gonna start saying, okay, this is our journey here. This is all the stuff that we have. Shri, I'm gonna start with a simple cleanup in here, and then we can move forward from there. I see here that there's a lot of
Sure.
things that could use a little bit of cleanup. Hold on. I wonder if it's ignoring the system message because of the .NET 6 stuff. Is that what it is? I really hope not. Oh no, it's just a library, so it shouldn't really care. Is there anything here that requires system? No, I don't think so. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a quick cleanup real quick.
Mm-hmm.
A quick cleanup, and then the places where there's no copyrights, I'm just gonna add the header here. And I'm gonna add in the header in these areas here real quick. So just a quick refactor, just for the people watching us, always kind of take care of your code. Don't just leave things hanging and say, I'm gonna do it later. There's no later in code because you're gonna be writing thousands and thousands of lines of code, on daily basis. If you're keeping yourself up to speed and up to date, you're gonna be writing a lot of that stuff. So it doesn't really make sense that you go in and say, oh, let me do that later. This is why we invented code rubs, so people could just come in and start adding code and feel good about it and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so Shri, I'm gonna do one part. I'm gonna create a little branch in here.
Mm-hmm.
Users, Hassan, Habib, and then I'm gonna say models. I think we merged your PR from yesterday, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yep.
that's okay. So models, and then in here I'm gonna go and say GitHub Actions.net. This is a branch, and I'm gonna go up in here and say this is code rub. Run code cleanup pipelines and copyrights. Okay, so here's that guy. Now let's go back to the original situation here that we were dealing with. As far as I remember, the last time we were looking into this, we basically went in. I'm gonna generate a file just to show you guys where we at, and right after that, we're gonna start talking about what we're gonna add in next. So I'm gonna go here and say .NET run and then project, and then I'm gonna do space here, and I'm gonna go give me the console. I usually forget how this command line works, so if it works the first time, I'm gonna be very happy. Okay, looks like it's working the first time. That's great. Let me go and open up the file that got generated out of this. The file that is going to be generated out of this is called GitHub Pipelines. It's gonna be at the root folder, and I'm gonna open it up in here so everyone can see it. I'm running on release mode, so I think it's gonna be in the. Give me a second here, Shri. I'm gonna basically find there's GitHub pipeline. So let me grab this file in here into Visual Studio so people can see what we're generating. So this is basically what we're generating here. Just for reference for the people that are seeing this, you might see in GitHub this pattern here, apparently doing it this way or this way, like as an array like this or this way. These are both okay. These are both okay options. And if that's the case, then great. Thank heavens that we are in good state here. Okay. What's the model that we're trying to get to here, Shri? We're trying to basically generate something so similar to the model that we have here on
And
OtripleS.
yeah.
So let's go back here to OtripleS. Here is the workflows. Here is the .NET YAML. And this is the next step. The next step here is that we need to create something called jobs. And inside these jobs, there's a property called build. And inside the build, there's runs on. So Shri, I'll take care of this first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then and I'll do the build and runs on, and then you'll do the steps. So both the steps and runs on are both properties of build.
Built. Mm-hmm.
but steps is a list of tasks, and this is where things get a little bit more interesting. Okay, so let's start with that. Let's go into jobs. So I'm just gonna go back here and say, okay, this guy needs, jobs. So I'm gonna go back here and say in .NET, I'm gonna create here jobs. So there's this guy. And then jobs is basically just a simple class, which means that jobs in and of itself is a property. And I'm going to copy the model here so we can take a look, go back and forth and take a look at it. Here's the model that I'm working with. What is all that? Oh, it copied everything. That's hilarious. Okay, this is this is the model that we're working with in here. And the one that we want to do here is that jobs itself is part of this overall kind of content that we're working with. If I do Control KD, I think jobs and on both live in. Unfortunately, Visual Studio is not catching the right indentation there, Shri. But if I go back into the browser, if you bear with me for a second, here's a browser. So both jobs and on are at the same level as name.
Yeah.
So that means that all of this goes in that GitHub pipeline that you built the other day, which is GitHub pipeline right here.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do that. What do you think about that? We're going to go ahead and say jobs. And under that, I'm going to say jobs. And this guy's going to translate just fine because of the translation. It's just going to
Yep.
turn down into jobs. So this should be just okay. Under jobs, there's build, and build has two properties, runs on and steps. So I'm gonna do one, you do the other. Okay. So
Okay.
under jobs in, yeah. So I'm gonna go here and say I need a new property here. And this new property is gonna be called
Build.
runs. Is it build? Is that what it
Yeah.
was?
Build. Yep.
Build. Okay, build. Yes. So this is build. And inside build, we can go here and create a struct, right? And this struct, I'll show you here in a second. This is here runs on. And runs on here, we need a YAML member. And
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't freak out about the dash though. But let's see, YAML member with an alias. And this alias is runs on, just like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's very simple and easy. We can work with that. And then I can go down to adding the file and I can go here. This runs on piece. I have something very similar in here that I can copy, which is the virtual machine, not the virtual machine pool, virtual machine images, this one in here.
Mm.
So I can copy this one here and just give it a new namespace because we want to keep things as separate as possible,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And in here, it's not called virtual machine images anymore. It's called build machines
Hmm.
because it's GitHub language that's using this. It's running on a build machine. So that's
Mm-hmm.
different. That's Ubuntu latest and Windows 2019. And I'm just gonna steal in.
And just the yeah, got it. You're there.
I gotcha. So I got here. So this guy here, this is GitHub. This is all good. And then if I go back into this, now I just need to create the example. So I'm gonna go back to my program here. Here's my program. And ooh, did it rename everything? Hold on.
Hmm.
VM. Oh, I really hope it didn't. Did it? Ah, okay, hold on. We can revert just this one, right?
Yep. Yep.
So let's undo just this one. And that will
Me.
put that guy back to virtual images like this. Okay, perfect. So you had on events. That means we need to have a thing in here called jobs.
Yep.
And that would be a new jobs like this. And inside this guy, we said build.
Yeah.
That will be a new build. I love this. Look at this. Look at this. Magic. Is it builds or build? Builds? Let's
Oh,
see. What did we call it? Um,
oh, we didn't declare
oh,
it.
I never declared it.
Mm.
Uh-huh. Okay, build. I can declare it without leaving the page because that's how lazy I am. Okay, so there's that guy, and I think it was called build, right? So this
Build.
build.
Yep.
You can always look at oh, did I close it? Hold on. Yeah, there it is. Build. And then after build, I want to go and say runs on, right? And I can go here and say GitHub, sorry, build machines dot Windows 19.
Hmm.
So let's see if this guy is gonna generate the right stuff for us. I'm gonna remove all of this, completely empty. And I'm gonna run my code here again. Here we go. And then I'm gonna go back here. Can I refresh this guy? Is there a way to refresh this guy so it tells me? There isn't, because it creates the file from scratch. So let me go back here and try to drag it back in. Oh, hold on. Let me close this. Run this again. And then it says 921, so it must have just updated it. Or maybe it's pointing in the wrong place. 1 second, Shri. Let me rebuild everything. Oh, I think .NET Run doesn't really build as far as I remember. So I have to actually build. And then let's see here. Okay, so now it's building. Now, let's see. I'm just trying to get the file. GitHub. Maybe it's running in a debug configuration. I'm just trying to find the file. So let me see here. Is there GitHub in here? A, B, C, A, Azure? No, there isn't. I'll just run it then. I'll just run the damn thing. Let's see if that works. Continue debugging. Okay. I think now it should have generated something because I'm on release mode. It's basically trying to create the file this way. So let's see here. This is GitHub. Yeah, this now should have something in it. So if I put that in here you go. Jobs build
Yeah,
runs on. Uh-oh, we
it
have a
didn't
problem.
come up. Uh-huh.
It didn't actually do that. And let's see why it didn't do that. I must have missed something. I remember something about the dashes. And by the way, pull requests also
Should
is
be
not.
pull underscore request. Yeah, that's right.
When you generated the first time, did it work fine for you?
No, no, it was
Didn't.
just one word. Yeah.
Really? Okay, let's see what's the deal with that. That'll be another thing that we're gonna have to research, I guess. But let's see. So this is alias runs on. This should be okay, I think. And I don't know, I don't think C# will allow you to have dashes in here. It might allow you to have underscores, but it might not allow you to have dashes.
Maybe we
Um,
can check what we did for the include pre-release for the
oh
ASP.NET.
yeah, you're right. That's right. So let's see what I did there. So it's variables, build configurations, build task, configuration variables, machines. Let's see, tasks, maybe .NET task, arguments, command, single quoted, scholar single quoted, omit null. This is not, in which part in our build, Shri?
So it's use .NET task inputs.
Oh, in the ADO, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's see. There's package type, use .NET task, single quoted.
So include preview versions.
Did it do anything here? I don't think it did it?
Hmm.
This one here, sorry, for the ADO, this is totally acceptable. It's super happy with this one.
Oh, it didn't have that syntax. Okay.
Yeah. But for this one here, it's different. And I thought we're gonna have a little, I thought we're gonna have a little challenge with this one because as far as I remember, um, now let me just try this first. For runs on, okay, so the pull request, even the pull request itself is not in the right format. Pull requests, which is under events. Okay, under events. Did it actually translate events to the right format though? Let's go into the file here. So it did translate events to on successfully, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that worked. How come on events YAML? Okay. And then if I go into events for the pull request, you said pull underscore request.
Yep.
And it did not like that, did it? It did not. If I do this in my code, just out of curiosity, this is of
Mm.
course doesn't respect C# kind of naming conventions. But I want to see continue debugging. Okay, let's see what that does to this file. See, the sad thing is that, unlike VS Code, this one will never catch the changes. There's no way to refresh it. See, it still doesn't care. I don't think I'm running the right thing. Let's go to debug here. Although that it says the file has been updated though. Let's see what's this all about. Okay, so here's the file. And now, man, I really wish there's a way we can refresh this. Okay, now if I refresh the file itself, this was at 927. I'm gonna pull this file in again. Pull requests. I'm not in release anymore though. I'm in debug mode. So let me go back to debug. So out of debug, there's something called GitHub Pipelines. It did nothing for us. Nothing. Okay, let's go back to the web.
Mhm.
Let's go here and see. And I remember having a hard time with one of these options with the underscore and dashes and all that. But let's just try this. YAML.NET underscore. Let's see what that all about. Underscore are ignored by the serializer. Looks like we're not the only people that are having hard time. Can you provide an example? And then a lot of people talked for a little bit, and then no problem, I'll close this issue, but please reopen this solution. Does not work for you. So this guy here went and said, we need to fix the serializer. And the serializer itself, I think he might have built his own kind of serializer because he's producing this. So what did he do here? Serializer builder with type inspector inner. Okay, with camel case naming convention, with camel case convention and reversed inspectors. Any chance you know what this reversed inspectors mean?
Mm. Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna steal this guy here, and I'm gonna try to go back into our serializer here to see where it gets a little icky, but we're gonna try to make it work. Let's go into the brokers, serializers, YAML broker, and this is where this serializer is. This is where this guy is. So I wonder if I can camel case naming convention. What other naming convention do we have here that we can take advantage of? So there's camel case and then inner instead workaround to remove YAML attribute type inspector. Okay, this whole workaround thing freaks me out a little bit, but we're gonna try it because we can. Let's go down here and I'm gonna take this all of this out. Here we go. And then we have a whole bunch of these in here. And what is this guy saying? Camel case is obsolete. Use instance non-static. Oh yeah, that's right. So it's gonna be instance like this. Okay, this one works. And then what is that? Naming convention type inspector. Okay, there's that guy. And then let's see here if that works for us. What do you think about that? I think that might give us some idea. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna run the app. File date is updated to 9:30. Here you go, pull request.
Awesome.
And
Runs
runs
on.
on is also right.
Mm.
Yay! I hope that doesn't break existing functionality though. So does that mean it's honoring the alias? Let's see here. So instead of me doing this nonsense here, I probably shouldn't change that because now I'm gonna run again just to test it, Shri, and see if that works.
Mhm.
Yeah, problem fixed. Yay. Great. Code that we don't know exactly what it's doing, but it works. So that's great. Okay, so let me close all of this and let me go back to the file that we were working with, Shri. So this is the debug file, minute 9:31. Here you go. Everything now is good and dandy. Cool, cool you?
Yep.
Okay, I think I did my part. I think it's your turn. So here you go. I'm gonna go here and say models and just gonna say add jobs, build and runs on. All right, your turn. Have fun.
Yeah, you may want to push that to master so I can get it out.
Oh, you can't get it from the okay. Aren't you you're not an owner on this thing?
Not yet.
Not yet. Why not? Okay, let's see. ADotNet. Let's see. I really want to push branches back and forth because that's how we do it. It's the right thing to do, right? Okay, let's do this. Let's go here. You're not here, Shri. That's horrible and terrible. What was the L
HUM.
huh? Shri?
HUM.
HUM?
No, I mean Shri HUM continuously. Yeah.
There you are. All right. Accept the ad and go ahead and pull the branch. Let's do it right with branches and stuff.
So can I accept it from GitHub itself?
Yeah, yeah. I think you may be able to. Otherwise, you'll just receive an email. You just click accept and that's it. I think. Hmm? Yeah, we should be. Okay, while you're doing that, I might just throw in there another one. Another
Yeah, yeah.
model. Use .NET task. The tasks is where all the fun is because every task is unique and we need to create like kind of GitHub tasks or tasks that will basically help us kind of work with these. Do you have it?
No, there's no invitation yet.
What? Okay, okay then if that's the case, let me merge this in and have you pull straight from master and let's see if that works. Well, how would you have access to master then if you're not, like how would you be able to push straight to master if you can't?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Oh, so you can pull in your local fork and basically, okay, got it. Okay, let's do it this way then. Okay, here you go. I'm merging in the request for now, here you go. Go ahead, share your screen, pull from master, and let's move on. Let's do it.
Okay. So I am fetching from upstream.
Yep.
Okay, going to share my screen.
Go for it. All right.
Okay. So under this.
Yep, you have the build
Yeah,
machine.
I have the jobs. Right. Okay. So
So the next step would be for you to be able to add in the I'll tell you. The next step is for you. I'll send you the example just in the chat, so just so you're able to kind of navigate through what's required. The next step here is that we want to do the steps.
okay.
So the steps here. So just be careful with this one. Do you see each and every task of those, right, has its own kind of requirement, but they share things. And sometimes they don't share things. Like for instance, some of these tasks, all of them almost have a name,
Yeah.
all of them, right? But then some of them also have, and by the way, I think the one that says actions/checkout v2, I think this guy could also have a name. Let's monkey around with it. I'll take your screen for a second.
Sure.
Okay, just for 1 second. Okay, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go back here. So here's OtripleS. I'm gonna modify this file. And I'm gonna go here and says, okay, you have uses, that's the task that it's using. So I'm gonna push this by 1. I'm gonna call it name and I'm gonna say checking out like this. And I'm gonna commit this and let's see what it breaks. Okay, so let's commit this in here. And let's see here what is, okay, but M2 Tonitich. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's see here if this actually builds. I think that would just work just fine. Shri, let's see.
Mhm.
Here we go. See, checking out. Do you see this piece?
Yes.
Checking out. So I think every task, let's go back to you. Every task that you have should have a name and uses. And uses is how it's basically pulling in which version of the YAML tasks that are pre-built in the system, right, to use. So this is why it says version this, version that, you know, that's how it knows which version of which task it's supposed to pull in. So this actions slash checkout version 2, that's
Mhm.
built in the system,
Mhm.
right? The interesting thing here is that I see here, this one here is basically just saying run a command. I don't want you to pull any task. I just want you to run a command. So that's why this one doesn't have uses in it.
Hmm.
See what I mean?
Yeah. So do we want to separate that out so that
Yes.
we have the
So
right models?
yeah, so we need one task. We need one task of type. Go back to the code. Share your screen. I'll tell you what I did with the other one. So check this out. If you look at the previous one, you see a folder there called tasks, right?
Yeah.
And inside those tasks, there's .NET execution task that has some bunch of arguments. It's too complicated in ADO. It's way too complicated than it needs to be, right? In our case here, we're going to do it a little bit different, right? Let's go ahead and start with this. I know that each and every one of them has name in it, right? So let's just build a model and call it GitHub task.
Okay. So we are under jobs
No, we're
and
under steps.
yeah. So from here under, so we have to have get inside build and then have steps, right?
Yeah, but we don't have the model yet, so we need to build the model, right? Steps is going to be a list. It's going to be a list of tasks.
List of, how do you want to call it out? What's the name of the task then?
Task.
Oh,
GitHub task. Let's call it GitHub task.
okay. List of GitHub
Task.
task.
Yep. And then call this one steps. Yeah, there you go. Steps like the British band. Yep. Okay.
Okay. So
Now let's
now we
build
have,
task, just task.
okay. And then here, um,
So
do you
inside
foresee
tasks,
multiple ones?
yeah, inside task, just create a model and call it GitHub task, just GitHub task.
Okay.
Okay, this guy is the common denominator between all of them. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So in this common denominator, we can actually simplify this even better. We can go and say property name, and it's a string, and then uses, and that's also a string. Actually, Shri, I'm sorry. Hold off on the uses for a second. Hold on the uses for a second. Just the name. Just leave the name there
Mhm.
and remove the other one.
Okay, shift. Uh-huh.
Okay, now we're gonna inherit from this model to create the other models. Lucky for us, we don't have to create a folder for each and every model of them because they have only one property at a time. So let's go into let's create a new task and call that task a let's call that new task checkout task. Okay, and let's call that task checkout task v2. I promise you it's better.
So,
So what does checkout task do? You have to inherit from GitHub task. There you go.
okay. So it has the name property.
Right. And then you want to go in here and say, in here, just assign this as a string and call this uses, and then assign a value to it directly. No getters, no setters, just give it a value immediately.
Defaulted to.
Yeah, equals, and then you're gonna add actions slash checkout at v2. I just sent it to you in the chat. Okay, that's this one. Let's create another one, another task. The second task will just be called setup.net task.
Setup.net
Task and type v1.
here in the file
Yeah,
name.
yeah, in the name, yeah, type v1, uppercase V and then 1. Yep,
Why is it so?
because there is many versions of these tasks. So we're giving it to them right away in the name. And this one also inherits from GitHub tasks for us. And this one is going to be interesting. It will also have uses, but instead it will be actions setup -.NET v1. I'm going to send it to you over here.
So this is also going to be uses.
String. Yep,
Okay.
string uses. Unfortunately, this task here probably needs its own folder. I'll tell you why, because it has a nested object in it called with. But let's just assign the value to it first. Now, you want to put this guy in a folder. And inside that folder, we want to create a new model that's called .NET version.
So do we want to name this one as
Setup.NET task v1. v1s. Yep. And then pull that model in there. Just make sure you fix the namespaces and all that so people know.
So this is going to be GithubNet task
Dot.
setup.net task v1s.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Now we just need a new model. And this new model, the name of the model itself will be called a target.net version.
So
Target.net version.
that's the width part of it.
That's the width part. Yes. Yep.
Okay. So that will go under the v1 task.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So target.net version task.
That's right. It's no, wait. This is not a task. This part is not a task. It's just
Just the mode.
target.net
Okay.
version. Yeah. It's just a property. Nice. And inside this guy is nothing but strings. So basically you want to go and say property.net version string.net version, and then the second one is a boolean include pre-release, and make sure you put the aliases because this one has dashes and stuff.
Version. And this is gonna be
YAML member.
.NET
Dash version. Nice. Very nice, Shri. Yep.
Okay.
And then the second one is a boolean.
Okay. This is gonna be
Include pre-release.
include pre.
Yes. I think pre-release is one word. Let me double check. Yeah, pre-release is one word. You don't need the uppercase R in release. Nice, Shri.
Be include. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
Make sure you
now,
add in copyrights and run a test and make sure you generate that.
do we need to embed this, right? So
Yes. Nice.
under GitHub task, we have name, that's the parent. So under checkout, we have users, that's fine. And then under V1,
Yeah,
then we need to
there's your guy.
include this version,
The
right?
with, yeah. So you're gonna do property and then you're gonna call it with version.
Okay.
This,
We
sorry.
target
Yep, yep, yep. You
and
know
we
what? Just call this target version. Target.net version. .net version.
version
Now the real name of it is what? With
number. Okay. So
nice.
here, so we need to, inherit the name, right?
You already have it. You already have it. Just go back to the program CS. Program CS.
Okay, we'll do it there.
Yeah. Because you already have that property, right?
Oh, what
Where
happened?
where did the stuff go? You want me to send you that over? Hold on. Let me go to, well, that's weird. It doesn't
Master.
look like you
It
modified
had the
that.
jobs, but then it didn't have this.
What?
The-
That doesn't make sense. You pulled latest from master, right?
Yeah, that's how I got the jobs model, right?
Right. You didn't copy that or anything, right? Oh, just do Control Z then. Maybe you deleted it by mistake in here.
But it didn't tell me that I've
You're
someone.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. I'll just send you the code. That's okay. There you go. Program CS. Here, just take the whole file. There you go. There's this guy. Here you go, Shri. Just copy the whole thing and dump it over, and that should do the trick. I hope.
Mm,
All
okay,
right.
give me a minute.
Okay. Where are you? Your screen froze.
Oops. Yeah,
Did your computer completely froze?
no, not yet.
All right.
Okay. Program. Okay.
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 Now just pull the models and we should be just fine.
Okay. So under job, we've done with our build. Then we need to have a control.
Oh, did we not add, oh, I thought build, part of the build are the steps,
Oh, okay. Got it.
right? Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, it's confusing. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Steps.
so this guy is basically a list of GitHub tasks, right?
Stop.
GitHub tasks. Just task. Yep.
Okay.
Now here comes the tricky part. We want to basically put in the right tasks so it can be generated. What was the first one we had? The checkout, right?
So the first one is users and checkout.
Do that.
Okay. So this is going to be.
It's not going to help you here. You're going to have to type in new and then maybe checkout task. There you go. And now create a squiggly and then give it a name. Call it checkout, for instance, or something.
Do we want to follow like this?
No, 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 no. This is just a name for the task. It can be very human readable. So check out. Yep. Sure.
Okay.
And then
The
under
next
that,
one, it's going to be with the users. Checkout is already taken care, right?
yeah, this
That's
one is done. The
yeah.
next one is the restore, I think, or something like that.
Mm, the next one is
Setup
setup.net.
.NET.
Okay. So this is going to be new
Yep.
um
Yep.
dot
Setup.
net.
Nope. Setup.NET. You called it setup.net, right?
.net task.
There it is. Get it.
It's v1.
Yep. And we should probably call the checkout task also v2, but we'll come back to that in a code rub or something.
Okay. So now our name is going to be setup.net version.
Sure.
And this is going to taken
So
the
this is the
version.
target version, right? Yeah. So copy that version because you're gonna need it. And then let's go and try the comma and then target.NET version. Yep, there you go. And this guy is its own kind of object, so new target.NET version.
But why?
That's okay because it has the same name as the object. That's fine. Keep going. It'll understand it. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All
Version.
right.
We
Mm-hmm.
call this and this is true.
That's it. Generate and see what happens. Oh, before you generate, make sure you pass in that guy. Pass in the right pipeline to the writer. Otherwise, right now it's.
Yep. GitHub pipeline.
I'm really concerned about that program CS, by the way, but story for another day. Let's give it another name. Let's call it GitHub Pipelines or something. GitHub is great.
Yeah, we should consider it. Okay.
You're tired. That's what it is.
But
All right.
no, it's
Ooh,
not happy with something. Okay.
references.
Okay. Good.
Yep. All right. You should have a file now. You can drag that file into Visual Studio if you want to just visualize it.
No, not this one.
It should be in debug build.
Yeah.
Is that
Here
it?
we are. So we got the name on push job
Tips.
build runs on steps uses.
Yep.
So this one also has a name, right? But then
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
mm,
We would probably need to make sure the name comes first just for
yeah,
cleanliness. How do we
yeah.
do that? Go back to your task and then put on top of that YAML member.
YAML member
Hmm?
order.
Yes. Order 0 or something like that. Pull the references first.
Okay, help me out. Order equals 0.
Yeah, let's try this again.
I don't know if I have to close the file. No, let me run it.
Here we go.
It said it's modified. It's gonna try. No.
You're gonna have to drag it again because it does this funny thing with the Visual Studio doesn't update the file. Didn't like it?
No. Okay.
Go back to a solution explorer.
Okay, one last time.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. No.
Okay, go back to Solution Explorer and open up in the tasks. There is something called build task. Do you see it? Build task.
Oh.
Oh, there it is. You just passed by it. Down, down a little bit. A lot bit. Under build configuration. What did I say here? What does the order say? Does it say 1 or 0? 0. So you're gonna have to force the order on the rest. So go back to your tasks in here in the
This is 0.
yeah. So this
That should be
checkout
1.
task, yeah, put an order there that says 1, and the same thing for the rest.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. The AI is already taking care of it. Scary stuff.
Okay, so here
And not this one, I don't think.
I think we
Yeah,
might.
on the uses, you're right. On the
Yeah.
uses. Mhm.
Okay. Okay, this has gone to the left.
One.
Okay.
Perfect, Shri. Okay, let's run again.
Okay. Let me close if it's not happy.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah.
Nice.
So I think width should also be there. Should go to 2.
Width should be 2. Let's fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Width should be 2. Yes. Perfection. Just perfection. Love it.
Okay. Yeah, we're there.
Nice. Very nice, Shri. All right, hand it over. Create a PR something and we'll merge it in and I'll take my side.
Sure. I don't know how it's gonna work.
Is your master my master or is it another
No.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let me push to master. My master should not have any issues, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
So what we did was
Check out and set up.
steps, check out, and okay, gotta try if that's gonna work. How do I send it to you?
You need to create a pull request against that branch somehow. Somehow.
Yeah. Open pull request. Okay. Yeah. Create pull request. Yeah, it's with you now.
You have it? Okay, I'll take the screen from you now. Okay, thank you, Shri. Let's go back to ADotNet. And you have a pull request. File changes. Okay, let's merge that in. Okay. Is it my turn now? Is that what it is? Okay.
Yep.
Let's do it. So I'm gonna go back here to ADotNet and I'm gonna try to pull in latest from master. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna rebuild this. Perfect. And because this is a library tree, we're probably gonna need to write some sort of it already has tests when it comes to the service and all that, but we need to write acceptance tests so we can examine all these tasks. We'll talk about that in a bit. But for now, we need to do other stuff. And the other stuff that we want to do here, I'm gonna go copy the Northern Star, the thing that we're trying to kind of imitate here. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to do next in here. It's going to be really simple and nice. So I'm going to copy this here. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to throw this stuff here. Okay. So what do we need next? We need the restore dependencies.
Mm-hmm.
We need build, and we need test, right? And I don't want my users to actually remember all that junk in here, these
Yeah.
commands in here. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to go in here and say under tasks, I'm going to say, there you go. This here will be one second here, restore task. And this restore task will inherit from, what did you call it? GitHub task, like this. And this guy will have something called run. So string run. And this guy will have the run command already. So there is no need to, and it can be overridden too, because it's just a property, right? So if
Okay.
someone wants to add additional stuff there, that's up to them. No problem there. So the run will be .NET restore. Perfect. Here's .NET restore. And then I want to go here and say YAML member. I'm going to say order 1. Okay, so this one is easy. Very straightforward, no problem there. Okay, let's fix this file here. And then I need another task for the build task. Build task. And this build task here will be just .NET build. So again, run public task YAML member like this. Order equal 1. Probably string run. And this guy will take in that command. So that's the build. Okay, so that's that part taken care of. Here we go. And then the last task is test. Is test task. So let's go in here and say, I want to add in a new task in here, and this task will be test task.cs. And this test task, I'm going to put in here some headers, Control KE, public, and then in here, GitHub build task. Same thing, YAML member like this, and this guy will have order of 1. And then this is a prop string run. Is it run or runs? I think it's run.
Mm.
And I don't think it's build. I think it's .NET test, no build. There you go. And it's run. Okay, perfect. What's the order here? The order is, ooh, what happened? Did I get like a merge conflict or something? Oh, whatever you built.
Oh,
Oh my
oh,
God.
okay. It's coming twice to you.
Yeah, what the heck? Hold on. Or there is a conflict. I see why. Because I created a conflict. Because there is something else called build task, and this build task is conflicting with whatever. So I'm just gonna go here and
Okay.
say GitHub or .NET build task .NET build task like this. This should make this happy. There you go. It's just a naming convention conflict. Okay, so you have these tasks. This is setup task. Again, this checkout task, I think this checkout task should be checkout task version 2. I'm going to rename it like this, Shri.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to rename the file as well to be version 2. Okay. Okay, and then let me clean up this guy here. Oh, what did I do? Let's see, Control KE, and then building NuGet libraries is fun. Let's go back here, and this is version 2. This is perfect. And now the new task would be, what do we do first?
Restore
Restore task, right? And the name is restore,
dependencies.
or let's call it restore dependency, sure. Can call it whatever we want, doesn't matter,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then also here, the next one is what? The build task, right? .NET
Yeah. Build.
build task, right? and this here is just the name. See, now, ooh, wait a second. Why is this guy exposing? And did I not inherit in here? I did not. Bad. GitHub task. There you go. And I don't need the run piece in here. Like, see, the run is still exposed for the people that want to do their own thing. You can still go do your own thing, but that's not what I want people to do. So I'm just going to worry about the name here and say build.net. And then the last one in here is new
Test.
test task, right? And this guy is going to be name, and then I'm going to go here just test. Right, so this is build, restore, test. What do you think about that?
Sure. Yeah.
Check out. Yeah, so let's see if that actually works. That would be it. That would be, I mean, that would be the development side of things. We're still going to have to publish this. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so let me go back here. Here's GitHub Pipelines. I'm going to close whatever I have open here. This is not up to date. Hold on. The file here is saying 10.4. This is how I know whether I'm running against the right thing or not. Did you give it a different name? Is it GitHub dash? Oh, there it is.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at that. So you have name on master. Now, how do we know this works? Let's go and copy this
Replace that.
exactly. That's how we're gonna do it. A lot of people have actually asked me this question. They said to me, Hassan, can we get real-time feed? Real-time feed. What that basically means is that they want to be able to know whether it runs or not without me having to put it through a pipeline. That might be the next step for this ADotNet kind of thing, that we go and say, hey, I want to run this as on a runtime and see what that does. That would be very interesting. Okay, so I kicked it off. I'm going into actions. Did we make it, Shri? I don't know. Let's find out. We will know from the naming convention. Check out this check space out. So we'll know immediately as soon as this happens. Let's see. Yeah, there it
Yeah.
is. This is our stuff. So let's see here. It looks like it's going. Very well done, Shri. Great work. Fantabulous.
I'm just thinking the YAML file and this we wrote. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so easy to write.
it's very different, right? But the beautiful thing is that people who are, we're basically creating this layer, this wrapper, so people don't actually have to deal with this YAML stuff, which is very helpful for a lot of people. The next step is that we hook it up to some engine like this, and the engine will tell people whether the code that they produced, I mean, because you're strongly typed now, there's no chance for you to make a mistake, right? Technically. But we'll see.
Like
I
live
mean,
testing, live unit testing.
yes, that's what I want to give people kind of the ability to run this on an engine. Like you see
Mhm.
what's going on in here. I want them to get that, but you see how long it takes because it still has to get an agent and it's gonna have to run tests. There's no way for you to know, right? So that's the little challenge with this. Anyway, let's wait for this one to be done here. And while it's doing that, I'm gonna go back to the code. I'm gonna try to multitask here real quick and commit that stuff. So this is models and then add restore, build, and test tasks. Here we go. Okay, so this is all in, perfecto. That wraps up the code part, the development, right? But we still need to do a couple of things in terms of
Versioning.
in terms of versioning and in terms of publishing. So we need to publish this stuff. We need to make sure things are working. I'm gonna go back here to the yeah, it is working. I'm just gonna keep this running until it's done, but I can see it working in here. Let's publish this stuff. What do you think about that? So I'm gonna go back
Sure.
here. So this needs to go in release mode. This is now in release mode. And then I'm gonna go back here to this ADotNet in the properties area, right? And I'm gonna do a couple of things. There's something here called package, right? And the package here will say I can increase the version on the package like this, right? And now in the authors, now that you are participating with me in this work, right? Now I get to actually be able to go and say, okay, now Shri, if you're gonna be with me on this, I get to kind of add you as a contributor or an author. This is really important so people know. Um, I want people to understand. So do you want me to put like just your full name or just first last name? How you want this to work? Like this?
Shri Hamrita should be fine. I mean, it's so big.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I'm gonna put it like this, and then now you are one of the authors on this project. Assembly version 1.3. Did I say 1.3? Yeah. So Assembly version 1.3 and the file version is 1.3. So saving all of this.
So,
I
quick
think
question. How do you decide which versioning do you use for the changes?
so versioning in software is very interesting. That's actually a good question, Sri. Let me show you. In software, the number at the very left is called a major release, like a breaking change, like something that's already in place and
Mhm.
you have changed its into implementation.
Okay.
That's a breaking change, right? So, and then the next one is minor. Minor meaning that, hey, I added a new thing, but it doesn't really break anything. It doesn't
Mm.
really break any existing thing. You know what? Now that I think of it, I think our change is major because you're adding a completely different set of capabilities here. So here's versioning in software. Check this out. Here's the Wikipedia. Here's what they say. Let me zoom out a little bit and let me show you. In here, there's major, minor, patch.
Okay.
This third one is just for bug fixes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a hot fix that we need to do. Minor is, minor changes, maybe a new capability, an override to a method that's already providing you capability. Major, you're adding a completely new capability.
Mm.
And to your point, this should be version 2.0 because this is a big change. Like it's not breaking, but it's an entirely new capability. So let's take this to version 2.0. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a great question. Go ahead.
And what's about this assembly version and file version package? Like there are three versions, right?
Yeah, so the assembly is for .NET. The file is the file that gets written on your machine, and then the version is how NuGet packages knows that you have a new version. And I try to just keep them all the same.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that's basically what it is. Now we have to be in release mode. Now, as soon as I do right click rebuild,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna open up. I'm gonna show you the navigation folder here, so you just see what that does. So here's my folder here for these files. In the bin, in the release, so this is ADO.NET. And then the one I care about is the library because this is just the .NET library. And then in the bin, in the release, it
Mm-hmm.
will produce this version here. Do you see that's NuGet
Yeah.
package?
Yeah.
Now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back here in NuGet.org. NuGet.org. Oops. NuGet.org. Like this. And I'm gonna sign in with my account. And then I'm gonna go in here into the upload area. And then I'm just gonna drag this file over here. The file that we just created, I'm just dragging it down here.
Okay.
Why it's not receiving it? Hold on. There you go. So I'm dragging the file. Now what is it doing with this file? It's picking up all the details that I uploaded in the file. See? Hassan, Habib, and Shri as
Mm-hmm.
authors. So that means you contributed to this project. Now we need to add the documentation. If you look at the URL, if you take care of your GitHub repository for the project, it'll help you down the road because you can go in here and say this, whatever documentation I added in here,
Okay.
right? I can go in there now and I can pick up this README file and I can open up the raw version, copy that, and then put it right in here into the README. Now it copied all the details,
Nice.
see, with the pictures, with everything. It's beautiful, right?
Mm.
Okay, we have all of this in place.
And
Now,
we may want to update the README with the GitHub changes then.
yes, that's gonna be you.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. So anyway, so I'm gonna submit this. Now, as soon as I submit this, GitHub has a very interesting behavior. As soon as you submit this, it will run three different checks,
Okay.
right? We'll check for the icon. It has their own, I'm assuming they have their own checks. By the way, this package has been downloaded 1,300 times. It has good audience there,
Hmm.
right? So a lot of people will be very happy. See, 1,085, just the last one that we released back in 2 months ago,
Yeah,
really,
it
since we
in
invent.
GitHub, it's gonna be helpful for so many.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially that people could just go in and say, okay, this is for the .NET release. We want to add in, see the modularity of this is where the power is. Because anyone could go and say, well, I want to add another task for creating artifact. Someone might come in and say, I want to add another task. It's open source. Go in there and add whatever tasks you want. No problem. So now if I refresh this a little bit, it will start picking up the license link, all the little details. Meanwhile, while this is happening, this is the process of publishing this. We can go back into, we can go back in here and basically just update and go and say config release version 2.0. So this here, my friend, is basically how we completely, added an entirely new capability, to this, to building GitHub pipelines. So
Mm.
now we're supporting ADO and GitHub, right? And it's clean. It's broken into tasks. I'm in the ASP.NET. This is ADO pipelines. I have the .NET. This is the GitHub pipelines. Clean code. Clean
Yep.
code, something that people can go and read, something that they can, anybody that's coming from anywhere. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. Now, the one thing I'm really missing is that we need to add ADONET.test.acceptance. And
Hmm.
what we're going to do, Shri, is that we need to kind of generate this randomly and see
Okay.
if the file that's going to be produced so we know that we're not breaking existing functionality, because all the tests are focused on the generation of data,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
is already done. But what about the actual models? This is one time where I'm going to go and tell you, hey, let's go test the models. It's not really the model, it's what's being generated that we need to match to a particular acceptance thing. Now, check this out, my friend. If you go into, let me open up, let's put it to use, right? Let's put what we just created to use, right? So I'm gonna go open up OtripleS. Check this out. So this very library that we just published right now, we literally gonna use it to generate our pipelines for GitHub. So anybody who's using OtripleS will be able to not just get the code, but also get the pipeline work that we're doing. So I'm going to go back to OtripleS in here. So check this out. OtripleS already has a thing in here called infrastructure build, right? And this infrastructure build has all that stuff that you have in here for Azure pipeline. It was really ugly. Look at all that stuff, right? We don't need to do that. We're going to upgrade it. I'm going to go back in here and go to manage Nuget packages. It's going to tell me that there is a new ADotNet. Here you go. So if I click this, there you are, my friend. You're right here. So now if I update this library, here we go. So we built the library and we're using it right away while we're
Hmm.
at it, which is great, right? That's not too
Yep.
bad. That's a good deal. And then since we already were testing with the GitHub pipelines, I'm just gonna steal it because it works. I'm gonna go down here and steal all of this. And now instead of this program that I have in here, see, this is because we changed. So it's
The
actually
difference.
it was a good idea that we said version 2.0, because now it's a breaking change
Breaking.
because we
Hmm.
changed, yeah. But now I actually don't need any of that, because I'm working with GitHub. I still need my client, but I don't need any of that. And now I just need a completely different set of things in my build. So I'm gonna pull these in here. Here's the build. Aw, you might have missed something. We'll see.
Hmm.
So build, why it doesn't know the build? Interesting. Let's see. Uh, So this is this guy here.
Build is under
Build is under what?
GitHub Pipelines.nets.
And then build, right?
Yeah, that's the
So
same as jobs.
I don't
It's same
understand. So
level of jobs.
yeah, we already have it, but it doesn't recognize it for some reason. Fine. Here's what I'm gonna do. Have I ever told you about aliases before? So GitHub build, you can do this. So this gives this guy an alias. So it's the same class, but I'm giving it an alias because maybe it's conflicting with something else.
Mm.
And I can go down here and say GitHub build. Like this. GitHub build. Oh, come on. GitHub build. So it's the same class. I renamed the class on the fly.
Yeah, I'm just thinking how will it be intuitive for any other client who's
Yeah,
downloading?
that's that's a bug we have to fix, right? Maybe version 2.0.1 then, or 2.0.1 because that would be a patch. That would be a minor release,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'll let you discover what the problem is. You're now an owner of this, but this should work.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, so now we're navigating all the way at the top level. We need to actually, if I switch this into a non-solution view, check this out. If I switch this to non-solution view, there should be, oh, I need to get up to date. Hold on. So let me commit this real quick. Actually,
Just the file name if you want to rename it to GitHub pipelines.yaml.
for the file name.
Yeah, line 78. And instead of Azure pipelines.
Oh yeah, I'm coming to it. This will
Oh,
this will
okay.
change. This will change in a second. So let me just do this. I'm gonna go here and say this is provision. Sorry, this is build. Switch to GitHub Actions. So this is this guy here. And I also need to get latest from master. So let me sync. Because there should be a different folder in here that I'm not aware of yet, or I don't have on my local machine yet. There it is, this GitHub folder here. So how do we navigate? We want to navigate all the way down to here to .NET. So it's going to be called .NET.YAML. .NET like this, right? So I need to come up 2 levels up. So 2 levels from here. This is the tricky part. I need to come up 2 levels from here and then go down into, let's see, what's it called? Hold on. 2 levels, and then I need to go into .github / workflows / and I'm gonna give this a dummy name just so I know it's actually working.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then let's switch back into solution view, and then I'm gonna try to kind of set this as a startup, and I'm gonna run my project here. Okay, now where is this project? Where's this file have been thrown? We're gonna need to find out. I'm gonna go down into the open folder explorer here. I'm gonna go into the bin. I know that it's outside of that. If you just give me a second here, show you, because this one's gonna be fun to navigate. We can actually find it out in here. It's just for the people that are watching us, or watching this video. We can navigate in here so we just know. So if I do ls, it should say this is OtripleS. And then if I say GitHub, and then workflows. Oh my Lord, I got
Yeah.
it right from the first time. That's insane. How did that work? Okay, does the file that does the file that we have here is actually correct? So workflows.net1. Here you go. So here's case in point. So now I'm gonna delete this guy. I'm gonna go back into the solution mode, and I'm gonna call this .NET YAML. And then I'm actually gonna push this code. So this is here gonna be again build, update, build directory. Here you go, like this.
Mm-hmm.
So now the final step. Final step. So we integrated the library. We put the library in.
Mm-hmm.
We figured out a couple of issues that we need to kind of hash out. That's
Yeah.
okay. And then I'm gonna go back here to GitHub on OtripleS, and because I'd made that new push, it's gonna kick off this build here for me.
Mm. Yeah.
So let's go into the actions here. So it's merging. This is kicking off the first build, and now this is the new build directory, the second piece, right? So that's it. Well done. Now that you have direct access to this library, feel free to update the library to kind of fix the build issue
Sure.
if you want for the directory. And then also more importantly, let's at some point in time talk about acceptance test.
Sure.
But that wraps up this project. Congratulations. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
All
That's a
right.
great learning. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shri. You take care. Have a good night. Bye.
Yeah.